Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL Podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly.
Hello, DCL Podcast Patreons. This is Christy.
And Dave.
We are sitting in our house. We are practicing uploading snippets so that we can do it next week on the treasure. Next week on the treasure.
Yeah, preview cruise.
But I thought I would do a preview of our previews here. So, because we have to practice uploading. So we'll see how this works. First thing I wanted to say is Disney did a webinar with the travel advisors going on the preview cruise. They did say there would be like media, so much like the Wish last year where they had like radio stations and TV stations and some stuff like that. I think some of that is occurring. And then there will be the travel advisors. The travel advisors are all in the same dining rotation, which I just sort of, and like you could either have first seating or second, which are now called 5:30 and 8:15, right? Isn't that what they said? Whatever the times are, 5:30. Now I don't even know what I'm saying, but don't worry about that part. But they pointed out that the internet packages on board are changing, and that as part of the preview, we receive a one device internet package, and now the new package is just called internet, in quotes, internet. So, and I think it's because they were touting themselves as having premium internet, and it was very much not premium. It was just unlocking one more stage of internet, but it was the same garbagey, slow internet. So I'm curious how it's going to be on the treasure.
So instead of fixing it, they just changed its name to match it to be what it is.
I feel like that's appropriately Disney.
It's like when Comcast said, we're tired of people hating our brand name, so we're just going to change our name, not actually fix what's wrong.
Right. Yeah. So that it could be a new name of company you hate.
Yeah.
Okay. So the schedule of our cruise is that we are going to 1923 for dinner the first night. Mm-hmm. And then the first night show is the same, Seize the Adventure. And then the second night we have Plaza de Coco for dinner. And our show is going to be Moana.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about. And then the third night, we are at Marvel, the second menu or whatever, the new show, the Groot show. So, and then our show is Beauty and the Beast. With Coco, obviously there's going to be two shows, and they're actually going to have the travel advisors come to a meeting, I believe on the Saturday. At some point, it's in my schedule. But to see the second show or part of the second show. So I should get to have a taste of both shows during the cruise. We will get to see various cabin categories again. Like I'll get to see the Royal Suite and that new Tower Suite. And then I guess there will be two like sales meetings that I'm going to have on board where hopefully we'll get more fun information. I am going to have a pirate night, and then...
Are there fireworks? Do we know?
There are apparently fireworks.
Oh.
So that'll be fun. We'll see if we can stay up. Amber is coming with us. Also, Amber is the one who does our Instagram a lot of the times, especially when it's fun. So she is going to be our fourth guest in the cabin. We were just assigned our cabin, and we are given a family veranda, which I'm excited about, like having that little extra space. So I look forward to seeing one of those cabins. And I think that's sort of it for our preview. Oh, there's a scavenger hunt I have to do so that I can win a prize. And you know, I'm always about winning a prize. So we will be doing that scavenger hunt. Plus, it lets us see all the things.
Yeah. Explore the ship. See how it's different from the Wish.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's great that Amber's coming too, because Amber is a doer. If you've ever listened, well, I'm sure you've listened to podcasts with her on it. She just does all the things. So that's going to be exciting to, it'll force us even more to do, push us to do all the things.
Yeah. because otherwise we might just like explore a little bit, but then just hang out because we are tired people.
We love a good hangout. So yeah, what do you think you're most excited? What dinner are you most excited for, do you think? I mean, okay, besides 1923, you cannot answer 1923. You cannot answer 1923.
I mean, the Marvel one, because I want to see how it's different from the other one. The Coco one sounds fun and interesting, but...
Apparently, Blake does not like Coco.
No.
It seems that he has seen it at either a
Kids
camp
clubs
or
something,
daycare or whatever. And he does not like it. So we will have to see
how he
does with the restaurant.
Depends on, I guess, how super themed it is and if they have the characters and all that.
They are going to have all that.
Yeah, so I'm very curious. But I am curious about like the Marvel, how it's going to be different with Groot.
Yeah.
And if the menus are going to be different. Are they going to be the same menus basically? Or are they going
they will. So on our 7 night, when we do our 7 night,
right,
like 1923 is going to be the same.
Yeah.
And Marvel the first night will be the same.
Right.
But then Marvel the second night will have a different. So we will get to see the second night menu. This dining rotation actually works for me too, because 1923 has the most options for me to eat gluten-free without needing to pre-order or even having to worry about that. And so this way I will have an opportunity to sort of see what my choices are the other nights and maybe see if there's any wiggle room, or just having that 1 day leeway, I feel like will be better for those other 2 restaurants. Whereas I don't really think I need it for 1923.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I feel like Coco would probably be easy, mostly Mexican that usually comes gluten-free, although people put wheat in weird things. So
like those potatoes. We'll never get over the potatoes.
Never get over the potatoes.
So that's it. I think that's our preview. We're going to upload this to Patreon and hope that it works. And then the goal will be to give you snippets that are Patreon exclusive during our treasure preview that starts on Thursday.
Yep.
Yay! I guess I should look into
unpacking
from a previous trip so that we can then pack. Yeah. And it's cold in Florida, so we have to figure out how to pack for the cold.
I know.
So, like pants.
Yeah.
Pants.
Long sleeve shirts and things.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay, you can comment in the comments if you have comments about this. And we have a thread on the DCL podcast where we're putting on Instagram and Facebook where you can ask questions. So if you have a specific, I mean, you could always reach out, but if you have a specific something you want us to look into for the cruise, post it to that thread, which was like the cruise countdown from a couple of days ago that I had posted. That would be the place so that I can look in one place to get your questions. So this is the end of, not really the end fully, but kind of the end because it's a 9/18. We're just going to make this video, put it up, but the end of day 1. And I am here with
Amber, and Christy's going to stay up till 11 o'clock today.
I am staying up till 11.
And Dave, and she did have some coffee earlier so that she could actually make it to 11.
Yeah, I had coffee before the sail away party, and they made me go to the sail away party.
Yeah.
Well, by they, you mean...
You. Amber. Amber did it. There's always somebody making me do things. Okay, so... Good first day.
Amazing.
Very busy.
Yeah, busy.
We did a lot.
We're joiners today. I mean, that's what you're supposed
Amber
to be.
Amber gets us to be joiners.
Yeah. This is why we bring a spare, so that the spare makes us do stuff.
Yeah, traveling with me is not always a good time.
Relaxing.
Zero relax.
Right. So we got on the ship. We saw the beautiful Grand Hall.
Well, and I would say, I don't know, because it just was funny that when we were walking toward the terminal, and the escalators were just gone.
Oh, yeah.
Not there anymore.
So the escalators going from the parking garage, deck 3, down to the main floor are not there. So you are currently walking your luggage down the stairs.
Or the elevator. You could go around.
Or you could take the elevator.
Or just don't go to deck 3 anymore.
Yeah, maybe. Big walls.
Yeah, maybe you have to park lower and then just go out the first floor deck and take that elevator down.
They had big walls blocking it, and we walked around and was like, oh, no, those escalators are just gone.
That's a good Port Canaveral pro tip. We are in the main Port Canaveral terminal. We are not in the new terminal. This was the regular one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, escalator's gone. We get on board. It was very quick. What's interesting is Castaway Club has no meaning on the ship. Like, you don't even get a discount at the store for this particular cruise. But the Castaway Club did count for check-in for the cruise.
Yeah.
We got to go to a shorter check-in line, like a way shorter check-in line. So we got on board. The atrium, the Grand Hall, is gorgeous.
But you were saying you like the Wish better.
Well, of course I like the Wish better.
Yeah.
Of course you like that.
Well, yeah, it's more princessy, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
It's girlier.
With the Cinderella dress and all that.
If we're voting on this, I like the Treasure better.
Okay.
Dave, you're the tiebreaker vote.
No, there's no tiebreaker.
Not winning and losing
both
here?
the same because they're just different.
You can't like this. You can't not pick a favorite.
I can because they're very different. Like you said, the one is princessy. This one's more adventure-y. This one's more like the Aladdin adventure experience.
Green
So-
and blue and dark.
Listeners, which are your favorite colors, green and blue?
Yes.
Listeners, when Dave and I first started dating, he was incapable of giving a preference. Like, I had to force it out of him. So, honey, 51%.
I don't know that I have it. I think I like the Treasure better only because I do lean more toward that adventurous, like, atmosphere that it engenders.
Okay, fine. Okay, so we looked around very quickly. Basically, we wanted lunch and tacos.
Yes, and they were delicious.
So we went right upstairs, like walked through and saw some things, but basically just went upstairs and had tacos. Food Fair was like Festival of Foods. I wonder when they're going to rename it to what I call it. Food Fair. Festival of Foods was empty.
Yeah, you had the right call to say, most people are probably wandering the ship and checking things out. Let's go get lunch now. And it was like the perfect time.
Do we think it ever got full though?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because it does seem like fewer people are on the ship. So
Yeah, first dining was empty for dinner tonight. I mean, not empty, but not full.
and our boy's making faces at us as he climbs the ladder.
Blake, what is different? What do you see? Blake has just joined us. The ceiling.
So on the bunk bed, there's a special ceiling, and the ceiling is Aladdin themed.
Oh,
That
yeah.
With
is
the genie
awesome.
coming out of a bottle.
Nice.
That is super cool.
I'm
That
gonna
is
see what it
awesome.
says.
Okay.
What's the wish balcony? I've never
It's-
had a wish balcony.
It's
balcony.
Bibbidi Bobbidi
What's this
Boo,
called?
I think.
I'm calling this a balcony.
The
Yeah.
bunk bed.
Bunk bed.
balcony.
Yeah, it's like in
We're all sober.
The stars spell like when you wish upon a star or something like
Although,
that. It's Tinkerbell themed. I
We
think.
have an Aladdin themed room,
Mhm.
Oh, that is
whereas
true.
No.
other people have other themed rooms.
Oh, now that's the next question. What do the other bunks? I think.
I mean, this
Yeah.
whole ship is very Aladdin-y.
no.
I know
it's
in the
gonna
Wish
be-
we kept thinking it would be different, but every single time we got the same
Okay.
ceiling. So
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
don't know.
Yes, love.
On the roof it says something about like when the genie's coming out of the bottle. It says like it's like beauty. It's a beauty being having space or something.
Oh,
That's all I
okay.
got.
Well, we'll look at that later then. But we're gonna record.
Thanks, Boop.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Okay. So Festival of Foods was empty. You know, we forgot to sort of go and look at Marceline, except you did go and get dessert.
I went to get dessert, and it was the same as the wish.
Okay.
It was the same.
Very crowded.
Yeah.
Narrow.
No, actually, it wasn't very crowded at all.
Oh, when I went in, I feel like maybe all the people were just at the front. Because when I went to
Maybe.
get my credentials,
There
it
was
was
some
crowded.
sort of meet and greet thing or whatever I overheard someone talk about. So
Yeah.
I think that was near the front.
So then we ate. Amber and I went to Scat. What is that place?
Scat Cat.
Cat Lounge.
Scat Cat Lounge.
Cat Lounge. Okay.
So cute.
Very cute. And they had, we'll have to post these. They had pictures of all the different specialty cocktails.
Mhm.
Not pictures, but examples.
And that's the one that in the Wish is like nightingales or something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, this is off the lobby, or the Grand
Yes.
Hall.
The Grand
Excuse
Hall.
me.
How
The
many,
Grand
let's see
Hall.
how many times we'll get it wrong. And then, so we looked around for those, or we looked at that, and then we came up to our room. We have a family veranda you know how, and you have seen this if you are in the Facebook group, which if you're not, you should definitely be in the Facebook group. We asked for more storage, and this cabin has less storage. And so there is less shelves in the closet than even the 4 that used to be in the closet. There's less. So I really think the play for this closet or this room is, if you're on a week-long cruise, you really do. Oh, and I should preface it by saying, if you have a family veranda, there may be enough storage because there's that side cupboard that's by the drop-down bed, if there is one, and if there's not, I still think that there's a cupboard over there. Question
Yeah,
mark?
maybe it just ends like right after the cupboard
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
actually a good question. I wonder if that cupboard exists if the bed is
I
not
feel like
there.
it doesn't, but I'm just guessing.
So, if that side cupboard exists, so if you had a 5th sleeper for sure, then there may be enough places to shove your clothing. If not, I think you need on this ship that closet organizer thing that you
with all the like shelf you hang on the hanger.
Yeah, that you either hang on the hanger or the bar. You hang on the hanging bar so that you have those cubbies so that you can shove people's clothes, or you have to hang up all your clothes because there's not enough place to like place your clothes.
Yeah.
So
There's
anyway,
plenty of like
hanging space.
Hanging space,
Oh,
yeah. But like, so
tons
if I
of-
like hung up all my T-shirts or something, but I don't want to do that.
Right, exactly. So weird. Okay, so we had dinner at 1923. We had their B menu. That was really good. Oh, we did 2 rounds of trivia and came in 2nd place twice.
On a bonus round too.
Yes, on the bonus round. So
Got
we were
tied.
tied.
2 bonus rounds.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we came in 2nd both of those
Second time
times.
is my fault. I got
was-
one of them wrong.
It was devastating.
Yes, it's all Dave's fault.
I kept us from getting the full 100%.
We listened to some music. There is a lot of good music around. We waited in line at the store for a little while. And just because we really didn't have anything else to do, we went and saw Seize the Adventure. And I love that show so much.
Yep.
And I think that was sort of our day.
Can we talk about how Skipper Society is super cool?
Oh, yes.
It's just like the Bayou. Is that what it's
Right,
called on the
yep.
Wish? Just like the Bayou, but super
Themed
cool.
after Skipper Canteen style things.
The theming, so the Wish, I've always talked about how amazing the theming is on the Wish. The theming on this ship is also next level, like down to the carpet matching the little hooks by the fish extender. And then the artwork on the stairwells
gorgeous.
they're amazing.
That one
Like,
3D of the Tahiti or Tafiti
Yeah, with
from Moana. That
with the
comes
Oh,
grass.
out
it's like
with the
made
grass.
of fake leaves and
It's
bushes
amazing.
and things.
Yeah.
so that was really cool.
We didn't go to Haunted Mansion because
The line
Well, it
was
didn't
like
open till later.
it was
right?
open to it opened at 7 and there was a crazy line.
yeah, so we'll try to
hopefully
go
tomorrow.
It's open at noon. Amber saw it tomorrow, so we'll try to do that.
We went to the Edge.
Oh,
Blake seemed to have a fun time in the Edge.
the one issue with Skipper Society at trivia in between meal service is it's the loudest place on the planet. While everybody's waiting in line for Haunted Mansion. Like, trivia there is not.
Not ideal.
I mean, this is the new, the Wish class has the Knows More trivia and it's all on the TVs, so you don't have to hear the host talking.
That is true. So,
So at least it's still doable, but it was very loud and very loud.
very loud.
Super loud.
And I guess that's it for.
Yeah, and you guys are maybe going to go out and listen to what do you keep calling it? The Sriracha Lounge?
The Sriracha
It's
Lounge.
Yeah, Sriracha. So we started calling it Sriracha Lounge. Frankly, it's the correct number of letters, and it starts and stops in a vowel. So
Sarabi.
Sarabi.
It's
Saraba.
Saraba.
Sarabi.
It's the Saraba Lounge.
We'll find
I
out when
don't
we
know
go.
if it's Saraba.
Yeah.
Or is the
Sarabi.
Sabra? I think it's the
No,
Sabra Lounge.
no, that's not
Or
it.
something like that.
we'll
I think
figure
it's
it out.
Sarabi.
It's themed after the
Lion King.
No. It's themed
Well-
after the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
But there was a
bar.
lion.
Oh, that's the show tonight. Is that
Yeah,
the
I
show
don't
tonight? Is
think.
Indiana Jones. The whole lounge is
I
like
thought that
Lion
was-
King.
It is Lion King. And there was a lion on the thing. So anyway, it is stunning. Even the carpet in there is stunning. but we call it the wrong name, and now that's just its name.
Yeah.
Oh, I went into Periscope into trivia and got second.
You went to... When did you
So
go
you're
to an
the
extra
one.
trivia?
Before when we got here.
Yeah,
we
we
were
here's
actually
you guys were
yeah.
unpacking.
down
So
into
Periscope
trivia.
is super cool. I forgot what the one's called on the Wish. Kale and Compass.
Oh,
Keg.
Ale and Keg
Keg
and
and
Keg and
Compass.
Compass.
Not Ale
This
and
is just
Compass.
more themed.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Like, even the ceiling
yeah.
is themed.
So really, only Triton's Lounge is the only one that stayed the same.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly the same. Maybe, no, it has better chairs. Because I think Triton's Lounge has those, like, little stools. Maybe.
Oh,
I could be
yeah,
wrong,
I
but
think
this
you're right.
has a back.
Be
Okay.
back tomorrow?
Yep. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, everyone. Day 2.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so Christy, Amber, Dave.
Dave.
We're all back. The band is back together. I want to start with the end of the night really quick because
End of tonight or yesterday night?
Tonight.
oh yeah, we got to go back to yesterday night, but tonight we're going to end
Okay.
with the end of tonight so far.
We'll go
First of all,
backwards.
we still have fireworks to go to, which Amber and I are going to leave this warm room and go into the cold, but that is for another night story.
And this is cold for real, not like fake Florida cold.
Yeah, like actual cold. Tonight we went to Moana, and we're going to talk about that still even later. But after Moana, we went to trivia because Amber likes to listen to the answers because she's a ringer and then wants to learn everything so she can win the next one. We could have dominated this trivia.
This was our chance, Christy.
We would have won first place instead of Amber getting second place, like at every trivia almost.
I've gotten 3 second places today.
Today!
And 2 second places yesterday. I'm going to win tomorrow.
We have to win tomorrow. But we would have dominated that trivia. Even I knew the answers. I mean, that's how simple this was.
But this is a hot tip, is to go to trivia during the show.
Like a really
or
good
dinner.
show.
There was
Because
only
there's nobody there.
there was 4 people in there.
Right.
It was like
there
one family that was split up doing
That's
5.
4
events.
people in one family.
They had 5 individual teams of 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the end of the night. But we'll go back to the beginning. Amber and I, first of all, everybody like pretended to be sleeping, but nobody was sleeping but Dave until the wee lateness of the morning.
Yeah.
Amber and I went to breakfast, 0 issues with that.
Blake and I hung in the room for a bit.
And then we all went to trivia, right? I mean, not Blake, but
Yeah,
the rest
Blake
of
went
us.
to the kids club and we went to trivia.
Is that what happened next?
No, you guys went.
I did see Mickey and Minnie this morning.
Oh,
and
we did
remember,
characters.
we were hoping that Minnie would be in her adventure outfit, and then it was just Captain Minnie.
Yeah.
So she was still cute, but 0 adventure Minnie.
And then you
We were-
started
it
your
was
scavenger
just-
hunt.
Yes, we started our scavenger hunt, but didn't we go to trivia this morning first? I feel like there was a trivia in there.
There was going to be a trivia, but you said
You
it was
went
something
to
like it was
trivia.
too early or something.
And I went somewhere else.
I think I've already blocked it out because I'm so upset with myself for
Yeah.
getting second place every time.
every time. So some of that occurred this morning. I feel like I had some travel agent work, not like actual sitting at a computer doing work, but like where I had to go somewhere.
Oh, we tried to go to the suites, and there was 1,000 people in line.
Oh, yes. You had to get in line. So yes, we did that after the characters where you had to get in line and the line was closed. So that didn't happen to go and see the big suite. There was too many people. So then we just like went to eat again.
Dave and I went to trivia and got second place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go.
What was that trivia? I already forgot. Oh, I did go to,
Pixar.
oh, yeah, we did go to
This-
Pixar trivia.
This snippet's rough so far.
No, yeah, Pixar trivia.
You know,
I
on
met
CDs,
up
like,
with you.
what did
You guys went and did your things, and I met up with you. You were doing the scavenger hunt. You'd gotten like partway through or halfway.
Oh yeah,
through
we
the
needed to
book.
like kill time.
And we
There's
never
a
found the one on deck 5. The 718 on deck 5.
right, the keel coin. I bet Steve knows where the keel coin is held on this ship because he is in love with the keel coin.
Steve, text us. Tell us where the coin is.
Yeah, well, we do need to fill in that answer tomorrow because I need to know if I win a prize. So travel agents were given this book so that we could like learn about the ship or something. And there's a prize. I don't actually know if there's a prize, but there's a scavenger hunt. And so we filled in all the answers.
Yeah, and then that's when there was that special guest they were doing the interviews with, and you lent her the fan.
Yes. So a friend of Minnie Mouse
Mm-hmm.
is on board, and she was recording some things with her voice.
And she was clearly very hot.
And Amber actually caught that actual recording occurring, and so she had us come over to where she was so we could watch. So we recorded that a little. I'm gonna have to upload that to the interviews. If the video showed up, I will upload that to the Patreon feed. I'm not gonna post that publicly anywhere. But so we watched her, and then she was hot. And I have a fan in my purse, because, lady of a certain age, sometimes you get hot. So.
And this lady was dying during this interview.
She was dying. I mean, bright lights and all.
True.
She loved the fan. And so we gave her the fan, and I got a signed note from her. And that was from Caitlin Robrock. Robrock?
Yeah, so Google Caitlin Robrock.
Yeah.
You'll know who we're talking about.
Right. And how she's friends with Minnie Mouse.
I'm going to lie, I didn't know this until I saw her. I didn't know she was friends with Minnie Mouse until today.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
And then you stayed because they were doing a whole thing in the atrium, in the grand hall. And then, so you stayed and sort of videoed and watched that.
Okay, I'm just going to say it, people. Dave, you've never talked quieter in your life.
It evens out. Trust me, when I listened to the recording last night, we were all exactly the same level. So it kind of evens out and equalizes.
Yeah, but yesterday you were louder.
Okay. Well, I will try to speak louder. But they were doing something in the grand hall, and you stayed to watch kind of that whole thing, because they were doing this like multi-part filming thing with her in the grand hall. And that's when Amber and I went to go to the Pixar trivia in Sangria.
Oh my God.
Sriracha, which is still not the name. Sarabi. Sarabi.
I decided it's Sangria now.
And Amber and I call it Sriracha, but it's none of those names, of course. But Sarabi is a more difficult one to try to keep track of. Yeah, so then I got to see Adventure Mini, and I made a reel, which I posted.
Ooh.
And that was exciting.
Yeah.
So I did that for like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
While we were getting second place.
Because you came like right at the end of the trivia. And then after
I wanted to show up in case I could get a medal.
Yeah. And we came in second place.
So I didn't get a medal.
And then we went to lunch, and you had an adventure with your lunch of
it's just
fun with people not understanding.
The pizza on this new ship didn't work out, but we're not going to go into that now because I'm hopeful that it's going to be resolved very quickly, because I was told that there was going to be a meeting.
Yes.
amongst people to resolve this pizza not working out.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And then the travel agents had a meeting in the Coco restaurant where we actually got to have the director of Coco show up, and I had his name earlier, and I'm not going to look it up right now, but you guys can Google it. And then Miguel was there as well. And then the director of the Coco, restaurant show. Yes. So for both of those shows. And they just described it. And I do have a little bit of that director guy's interview. And so I will post that for the Patreons. So you guys, if you haven't joined Patreon and this goes live for the regular feed, you should join Patreon. But that was really good and really moving. I sort of liked the interviews more than I liked the show tonight. Jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Dave and I will just take your word for that.
I know.
We were not invited.
I can see that, though, because the show was good.
Fine.
It was fine, but it wasn't that impressive.
Although the show wasn't in your face, I could eat without being bothered.
Well, we were really far away.
We were 8 miles away from the stage.
So I wonder if you were closer to the stage, if it would make. We were basically not in the restaurant anymore.
I honestly wasn't really paying attention. It was just background music, so I guess I didn't mind it.
It was really loud background music, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a different discussion about what I think about these dinner shows.
Well, it's similar to the Frozen, which is, also it's on the Wish class, the Frozen theme, where it's sort of background. If you're there and you're paying attention,
but I feel like
there is a bit of a story there or whatever, but the rest of it is really just kind of background stuff.
But I feel like it's not as loud. on
the Wish.
Yeah. Although it's still there, but maybe because their voices don't carry.
Well, and I don't know if it's the style of music or what have you, but I agree. I think the Wish is much quieter.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It doesn't carry as much, I feel like.
But the food at the Plaza de Coco.
Oh, it was good.
It was really
10
good.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Like, maybe we had some dishes, like, sadly, the soup, the tortilla soup, and the chilled soup, if you get the allergy menu, the chilled soup is just not there. I mean, maybe somebody likes
like
it.
Cold avocado.
Cold, creamy, like, watery avocado. Doesn't that sound delicious?
Well, and speaking of avocado, nobody liked the
guacamole.
The guacamole
Your
from a can.
guacamole actually looked fresh, more fresh, though. Mine looked like it had been sitting there since yesterday.
And mine was pretty tasteless, though. But
yeah,
and they gave me 2 chips for it.
You didn't get the chips because they probably were like, "There's a whole bunch of chips on this table." Still.
That's true. The bread, the quote unquote bread
service, which was chips,
which is weird, but it's also amazing because who doesn't love chips and salsa?
Right, but it was like a teaspoon of salsa.
It was also extremely mild.
Very, like my son ate it.
Yeah, and that is saying something. So. Yeah, which is good for those that have kids that aren't into spicy things. If you want them to try salsa for the first time, this is a good one to try.
Definitely is a good one to try.
Yeah, but and I was surprised because I'm not a big Mexican food fan, and now admittedly my main course was labeled as ribeye, but was actually just prime rib and twice baked potato. Really, really good, but not very Mexican themed.
Yeah, like the ribeye and twice baked potato from every other cruise ship.
Yes, which is always.
But rib. The gravy was delicious.
It was really good. And I did have I don't remember what it was called, Barilla, the
empanada.
Empanada, and that was really good. And
then you had enchiladas that looked really good. Like, that looked almost
huge.
It was huge.
Like,
and that was an appetizer. That should be a meal.
Yeah, so Amber got the menu and just said, I'm going to have these 4 things and circled the appetizers.
Yeah, she got the appetizer menu. Like, all of them.
2 were amazing. It was the empanada and the enchilada. The shrimp was good, but I guess I was so full from the other stuff. And then the guacamole, I would not recommend.
Lackluster, yeah.
If you are getting the guacamole and you have kids, you do not have to worry that it was spicy because there is 0 spice. Yes. It is not handmade. It is apparently out of a can, which still doesn't quite make sense because I don't think you can have guacamole in a can. But we're just not going to worry about that right now. Yeah. The carnitas that was on the regular entree menu was amazing, and I will be eating carnitas in a month when we are back. Did I finish saying out loud the tortilla soup was this weird tomato soup that was super thick and not like tortilla soup at all and should not be consumed by anybody?
The desserts were okay. I just thought they were okay. At least I got the cheesecake, which had a very strong coffee taste. Well, it was cappuccino cheesecake.
Coffee cheesecake.
But it was a very strong
There were churros.
Coffee one. There were churros.
Seemed to be the same churros from the Wish.
Yeah, the Wish 1923. It definitely was. Yeah.
Which I'm perfectly fine with because they're delicious.
Yeah. Not as good as Nomad Lounge.
Well, no, but those are fresh. The allergy desserts were both so good. Amber had a bite of my cookie mousse thing. Pretty good, right?
I know. I kind of wish I had allergies.
Well, you could have just had that.
Maybe I'll do that next time.
So it is like a crumbly cookie. I mean, this is like arguably one of the best allergy desserts. Yeah. That almond cake, actually, that they have is really good. That's not been on the ship yet. But that almond cake is good. But this chocolate mousse thing is... Amber dies in the corner, is really good.
And you had strawberry shortcake.
Yes, I had strawberry shortcake too. Hold, please. Okay, so Amber is alive still, fortunately.
I have a little cough, and you know Christy loves people with coughs.
Oh my god.
Huge fan.
Dengue fever girl over here. Okay. Also, Amber touches every doorknob and public thing and then comes in the room and touches everything. So anybody that knows me knows I'm having a heart attack over here. Okay.
The theming in the restaurant was really good too, I felt like.
Very good.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not a Frozen fan, so anything is better than Arendelle in my eyes. However, with my bias there, I still think Coco was amazing.
Yeah.
Just like the hallway walk.
Right.
They had the whole ofrenda. The legit, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. I guess the director spent like 6 years or something. Could that be possible in Mexico, learning like at various times? That seems like a really long time.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. And then Moana.
Well, we went to trivia first.
Oh yeah. Wait, we did?
Oh, we lost that
terribly. That was the music trivia.
Oh yeah, we didn't get second place in that trivia.
Actually, we were in the middle. We were in the middle of the crowd.
There was like a whole
of the bottom.
The whole end section, we didn't get any songs.
Yeah,
it was decades trivia.
Yeah, decades trivia.
It was very hard.
From the 50s on, and once we got around the 2000s, we started to really fall off.
We're out.
Do you want to talk about Haunted Mansion Bar?
Oh yeah, talk about it. Oh yeah, so we briefly went into Haunted Mansion Bar this afternoon, and Amber went during dinner, which was like a really good move.
Yeah, I ate my 4 appetizers and then left real quick to go to Haunted Mansion Bar because I thought nobody would be there, and I was right. There was like 4 people in there, and honestly, I just kind of walked around for a minute and then walked out again.
The pictures move, like the eyeballs in the pictures. Well, the pictures don't move, but the eyeballs in the pictures move. Yeah. And then
they have faces that appear behind the bar, and they say things.
Well, yeah, everybody knew about that.
Yeah, at one point there was some lightning and thunder, and the ghost host was talking. So that's the time to go.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it's less. It will be busy always at the beginning of a cruise, and I think there will be pockets when it won't be as busy. It was pretty loud in there.
It's very dark.
It was very dark this afternoon, but Amber said it was less dark.
Yeah, it was like pitch black at like 5 o'clock when we went in there, and there was like 100 people in there. But during dinner, it was a little bit lighter. I could see it.
Yeah. And the theming was amazing. If you're into Haunted Mansion, the theming was very amazing.
They sell Haunted Mansion bar type things in the little store next to the Haunted Mansion. So keep that in mind if you're on the ship, and like right in the front, which I missed the first time I was in that store. And apparently there's supposed to be coasters that represent that kaleidoscope. That's not the name.
Oh, I saw those. There's
Periscope.
There was 4 coasters, one with like each
there was like
bar
a
name.
Picture of them, but I never actually saw the coasters.
Oh, I saw them in like a display.
Right.
Case.
Yes. Where are the coasters? That I'm curious if they were either sold out for this cruise or what the deal is.
Yeah. Then we did the trivia, and then you went at the end of the tail end of trivia to go get us seats for Moana.
Right, which we really don't need for this sailing. I guess there were 1,750 people on this board versus like 3,200 or 500 or something that our server said. But we had really good seats. And Moana needs to be seen by everybody. It is really amazing. So good. I will be watching it again in January. I'll just give this little thing. There is a part, the very beginning, Moana is a younger Moana is dancing. Oh, and there's like a puppet with the baby Moana,
it's similar
which is so
to
good.
The Frozen one where you had Anna, Elsa, and then the middle, like the tweener, and then the adult.
So Moana gets older. So if it starts, clearly not the baby, but if like teenage Moana, and you're like, what? This is the Moana? She is the same. Well, she's Moana. So she was in Seas the Adventure on the day before, or whenever it's going to be on your cruise, and then that, and Moana is, so she's in both roles.
Yes.
She's Moana.
And she was
amazing. Like as good as the original.
Yeah. She sounded just like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the grandmother was incredible.
The grandmother. Amber and I were walking up the stairs to come back here, and we were like, what is the chance that there is the most perfect person for this role that just wants to live on a cruise ship, can sing and dance and act and wants to live on a cruise ship and is age appropriate?
And they found her.
Like, how?
I know, because she looked like a grandma age,
right?
But I don't know, maybe it's some magic there, but
I'd say she's probably in that range. I mean, yeah.
Some kind of grandma age for sure. Oh my God. So good. It was just really, 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 really good. So I want I want you guys to go see it, and I want you to report back.
Maui was good, but it's one of the problems with Maui is that it's so hard to compete with The Rock because he just was that character so amazingly.
Also, no one in real life looks like that.
Right. That is true. That is true.
But like he was the same size as Moana.
Yeah.
Like Moana
they could have found maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the special effects and everything, yeah, as Christy said, you have to see this. It is amazing.
I would almost say don't sit in the balcony where we did because we missed some of the special effects on the bottom.
Oh, with the fish, like when they threw the fish.
With
the bubbles,
bubbles and stuff.
Yeah, I still don't like people, so I'd probably still sit in the balcony.
If you don't mind people, definitely go to the main floor.
Yeah,
to floor 3.
Yeah. I might think of a different seat for the next time.
Yeah.
There is those seats. There's like a row in the middle, and there's like a front row again type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but in the middle, a front row in the middle. Maybe that would be like a good section to go to. Okay, so really quick, let's go back to Indiana Jones last night. Indiana Jones, whatever this
what was it called? What was it called? It was like it was like I can't remember. It was had like a random name.
As a bystander who was not there, was they came back and said, we can't tell you exactly what we just experienced, but you have to go see it.
You have to go see it. It was called Choose Wisely, Indiana Jones Comedy Adventure. Oh, and Indiana Jones Comedy Adventure. And it was 18 plus.
In Sriracha.
In Sriracha.
In Sangria.
And you do have to get there early because you have to get there early. Because it did fill up.
Yeah.
Although I will say, from 9:30 to 10:30, it said it was some Indiana Jones thing, but it was really just like, hey, come hang out before the show. So I wouldn't say get there.
We stayed there for a whole hour?
No, remember because we walked in, it was closed. They were like still fixing it. Right. So I wouldn't say get there at the 9:30 thing.
I don't know. Just look into it and figure it out.
Yeah, we got there at like 10:10 and got a good seat.
Did we?
10:05, 10:10.
It was amazing. Oh yeah, 10:45. I took a picture of where we were. She started singing. You're right, at 10:30.
Oh yeah, this really awesome lady started singing, and we were like, "Whatever, she's good, but this isn't a comedy."
Yeah,
she's singing amazingly.
We were so confused. Actually, we never stopped being confused one time.
Well, like I said, you guys came back and said, we don't know what we just experienced, but you have to experience too.
Everybody has to go.
So,
like, I would stay up a second time, I think, for this. Especially if you had some adult beverages, which
you'll be able to in January.
I'll be able to in January. But also, I felt like the Name That Tune trivia would also have even been better than it actually already was with some adult beverages. But like, I feel like the people on this cruise are unhinged.
Yeah. Well, I will say, especially the Name That Tune lady, the woman, young girl, Mallory, she was amazing.
Yeah.
She just really owned being the leader of a crazy troop because it was a jam-packed trivia.
Jam-packed.
A lot of crazy mixed age people. And she kind of owned the entire room. So I will say, and if you do get Mallory on your cruise, ask her to do her dancing queen routine.
Oh, yeah.
And insist that she do it.
Right. Yeah, that was really good too. So that was day 2. We spoke a long time again. Yeah. Longer than I thought we would.
It's just Amber's been getting us to pack a lot in.
Oh, and I went and looked at all the rooms. The Funnel Suite is amazing, as we knew it would be. I still don't understand why there's no balcony. The Royal Suites, I went through like 3 of them. Also amazing.
Oh, how many are there?
Would be 4, I assume.
Okay.
2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Oh.
So that's those are good. And yeah.
Like did kids club a few times and hung out in the room a few times, and he's been living his best life.
Yeah.
Actual segue to that. Blake and I went to open house.
Oh yeah.
And it was only open house for Star Wars and Marvel, and it was exactly the same as The Wish.
Right.
Which is cool because they were fun. The only difference I've seen, I haven't been in the actual Oceaneers Club yet, but Downstairs on the Wish, it's Alice in Wonderland themed.
Mm-hmm.
And downstairs here, it's Jungle Book themed.
On the carpet.
The mural on the wall.
Yeah.
And there's like some fake vines and stuff. It's super cute down there.
Well, and there's a couple statues Blake pointed out that were different. Like there's Aladdin and Jasmine riding the magic carpet.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also one with Captain Hook and Peter Pan. And he said those are different than they are on the Wish.
In Oceaneers Club?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Go
like
check that
not
out.
the statue in the middle of
No, yeah. Not the one that's like right in your face in the Grand Hall. Not that one. No, but it's basically that same one, but it's small and it's over by like where the crafting room is and the storybook room is. Like, as
inside?
As you're getting toward the nursery side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like right there. There's those statues there. Blake said those are different than on the Wish.
Cool. All right. So listener Chris messaged me earlier and was like, why are these people playing video games when there's a whole brand new beautiful ship? Because Dave and Blake, I took a picture of them playing video games earlier today. So Chris, see, they did play video games, but look at all the activities we did today.
Yeah.
So
and that's way more than we normally do on a cruise ship.
yeah, so we did stuff.
We did things.
So there you go. But just know, Dave, that people are gunning for your spot on the cruise ship. So don't be sitting here playing video games too much.
Wow.
Or these preview cruises.
Well, but
You're done.
To be fair though, a lot of the things that are happening, especially on this preview cruise, no one except for you is able to go to.
Well, that is true. Some things only I can go to.
Right. So
you guys should have gone to Haunted Mansion while I was at that Coco thing.
Yeah,
we didn't think about that.
I'm not a big Haunted Mansion fan. I mean, thought it was kind of cool, but not something I would want to hang out in.
And I went to the movies. So.
Oh yeah, you saw Deadpool. We forgot about that too.
Time.
Okay. That is it. That's going to do it. We are late for the fireworks. So we're going to go and see who Red is on the ship. I'm very excited to see her rocking. I wonder if she's going to be the woman from last night. The one in the Indiana Jones show.
Oh.
We're going to report back.
Okay.
And do you think the Red or the woman from the Indiana Jones show was the shark?
Lady? Oh.
The shiny shark?
I don't know.
Shiny.
We need to find, because there was some maybe body. No, her face might have been different. We have answers.
Okay.
We have questions. Now we're all coughing, so we're going to go now. Hey. We are now on day 3. Oh,
it's 8 p.m. It's winding down very quickly.
Yep.
But we still have 2 more trivias to possibly win.
Or come in second. So this morning, I had my travel agent sales meeting where they had some of the coolest speakers. We had one of the original Imagineers from the Haunted Mansion who designed the what's the stuff on the side called? Wallpaper herself, because she could not find anything else she liked. So I actually have some little snippets or little recordings that I have saved and recorded that we will play on the Patreon feed. So join Patreon if you haven't already. Okay, and then I got Amber, and Amber went on a walk. What did you do this morning?
I went to see the Christmas tree on Castaway while Christy was at her school meeting. Met a couple characters at Castaway. And then Christy and I put on our tennis shoes.
No, well, first we went and had churro waffles.
Oh, that's true. We ate a lot, and then we put on our tennis shoes.
Yeah, we had to earn. And then Amber said she would walk 3 miles with me. And then we walked way out. And Lake told me about this, and everybody knew about it, but I didn't. The bike path by the adult beach, that's the best little path.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the airplane...
Yeah, the
runway. Is there an airplane there? But is there an actual airplane?
Yeah, there is.
If you're looking at the airplane by Serenity, you can take a right down a path.
It says bike path, you can walk it or run it or whatever and walk down that path and get another 2 miles in or something.
It's nice and shady, and there's water at the end.
Yeah.
A water station.
Beautiful view. So then I made Amber walk 5 miles.
Yes.
because we had to walk back.
Oh, wait. Before this, did we win trivia? Right after breakfast?
Oh, we did before we went out.
We cheated.
had 10:30
Not
trivia.
cheated. It was a gift. We got second. Per usual, right? We got second per usual.
Oh, and then they gave us a medal.
But there were only 3 people doing the trivia, so we all got medals just for participating.
We got a participation trophy.
Right. But we did good. We got our usual second.
Yeah.
And we got our first medal. So we figured 6 times coming in second equals a first.
But then we did trivia again. Was that after lunch?
After lunch with Blake.
So we did our 5-mile walk, and then we came back to the ship.
You finished walking outside the ship.
Well, yeah, I had to go in circles so that I could make it to 5 miles flat. Okay, so then we went and had tacos.
For usual,
because you have to come in second and get tacos because they're delicious. And then we went and played more trivia.
We did Muppets trivia, where once again
we were second.
We tied.
We tied
for first.
We tied. Everybody tied.
So this is our 3rd tiebreaker. And then we tied again, the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the tiebreaker tied, but we thought we won, but then we didn't do math properly. Nobody did math properly. And so this is funny. Dave, we knew we were going to Muppets trivia, so while I was eating lunch, we looked up Muppet facts, and it helped us with the trivia.
It totally helped.
There were
We got,
literally
a couple.
2 or 3 questions that were right from the trivia.
Ridiculous.
And
Yeah.
while they were off on the island doing their thing, Blake and I went down to do crafts in Triton's Lounge. They had a just simple little thing. You can cut out Mickey or Donald or any of the characters, paste them on, all that stuff. Then we went to lunch, and then we were going to go on the Aqueduct, the Aquamouse rather, but it was closed because of high winds. So, and then Blake didn't want to do anything else, so we took him back to the room, and then that's where he spotted you girls coming back from your walk.
Yeah, the weather was wild. It would go from sunny to squall rain. But we got lucky that we only got less squally rain. Just wet.
Plus we were getting exercise.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind the
No.
mild rains.
No.
But if I was trying to chill, I'd probably mind.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
All right, so after our 900th second place in trivia,
Yes.
what did we do?
These are good questions. Oh,
I went to Deadpool for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
and then we watched that weird Indiana
The Jungle Cruise
Jungle
adventure
Cruise.
that I got roped into. This woman just appeared at my shoulder and said, "Do you want to go on a cruise on the Amazon?" I said, "Am I going to get killed and eaten by this during this trip?" And she said, "Nope. In fact, you might win." So
But you did win.
we did win, in fact, yeah.
But you didn't win a prize.
No.
It was weird.
was
I
weird.
would say if you're not in this show, do not watch the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy watching it.
I did not enjoy watching
Especially,
it.
I figured it was probably very disjointed too because there were 2
Yes.
quote-unquote ships and 2 captains, each with microphones, but they would alternate which one's mic was active. And I'm people watching this are probably getting half the story any given moment.
That's why it was weird to watch, because
Yeah.
it was just weird.
If you
Just
have
be-
kids
yeah.
and you want them to join in, they probably have a ball.
Yeah, so it was in the lobby. It was called some sort of Jungle Cruise adventure. It was the same weirdos who did the amazing Indiana Jones show.
Right.
And they're very fun and talented, but it was weird.
This one was just weird. And actually, on my way to the trivia that we just finished losing, I walked by the Aladdin show in the lobby, which is also by the same weirdos as Amber calls them. That's now their new names.
Their real names are Sage and Coriander.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, that's their fake stage names. I'm assuming that's not their real names.
Yeah, maybe.
But
so
did that one look cool? We missed the Aladdin one.
I have a snippet from it, 30 seconds, but I thought I had to come join this activity for us to lose. We got some though. We got some songs, but the winning team.
These song trivias are tough.
Yeah, only missed 2.
Well, you skipped over Marvel because you hated it so much.
Well,
Oh my God.
we went to Beauty and the Beast trivia after
I
the
forgot
Jungle
about
Cruise
that.
thing. We actually did decent, but
Yeah.
I went to Beauty
That
and
was
the
also
Beast.
pretty.
So Dave goes, when music trivia was ending, was it then that you asked, or was it Beauty and the Beast trivia? It was Beauty and the Beast trivia ending. Dave's like, is there always this many trivias on a cruise?
There are.
Yeah.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
We just
We
don't
just
do
are so
them.
unaware of them because we
But
never do
this
them.
is Amber
Amber likes all trivia.
Yeah.
Amber
then
loves trivia.
We went to dinner at Marvel.
God, so
I loved it.
There
Christy.
was question and answer period, and I will say there was like literally it was like the whole dinner practically was a quiz.
It was more trivia. And that's why I liked it so
Yeah,
much.
you did. And there were choices and there were buttons to push. I found the first Marvel show, which will be like on night 1 of Marvel on this ship even. So the first Marvel show that's on the Wish, to be mildly entertaining like a couple of times. I'm just gonna hold on a second. But this Marvel, I never need to return.
Well, and Blake, as in theory the target audience, he preferred the other Marvel show as well.
Yeah.
He said, he's like, I don't really like this Marvel version.
Is he the target audience though with Groot and 80s music?
Well, no, that
good
is
point.
true. But, well, I mean, he would be the target audience for the Marvel
in
themed
general,
restaurant,
sure.
right? But this version of it, where it's the 80s theme music and the Groot and the... I mean, I think he enjoyed Groot, but the rest of it, I think he could have taken or left.
It wasn't overly loud though.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I remember the
You
first show
could-
being very loud.
You could totally
Yeah.
ignore this whole show was even like our head waiter did. He like wanted to come over and ask us questions, and Amber's finally like, "Oh, there's questions. I don't know what you asked. Like, I'm sorry, I'm playing the game." You know what though? I just realized they should have told us how we did at the end.
I know, that's
Like
a
they
bummer.
could have
yeah.
given like each
Stats.
table like here's your table number, here are your stats.
So if people are familiar with the Marvel show, there's that quantum core, and there's 4 buttons on it, and that's how you answer these trivia questions.
Yeah.
And
Color-coded.
if you got it right, the quantum core would light up green. If you got it wrong, it was red.
And you can try as many times. So if you get red, you can try a different guess if you want.
But yeah, final score would have been fun.
Yeah.
Like how you did versus the whole restaurant or something weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they'd have to program
True.
a lot of
I mean,
programming, so I don't see that happening. But they could have at least for your table, which I guess they could have still done. They didn't have to program it because it's your table, it's your machine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now that we're armchair
Quarterbacking
Imagineering
it, yeah.
here. So we're in Sarabi, which we call Sriracha and Sangria.
You
yes,
said it correctly.
I did say it correctly one time. There are hidden Mickeys on the tiger or on the lion mane around the screen, which
Are you
is
serious?
amazing. Yes. They're like basically full on Mickeys. I'll show you when we go back around for trivia again. And then it is gorgeous in here. I still don't understand this open air business that you hear because it's literally open air. I don't understand that.
Well, someone was commenting because they were doing some rehearsals earlier, and so they had all the doors were shut, so people couldn't get in.
Right. But
And they were like, "Well, good thing they shut the doors because we can't definitely hear what they're doing."
there's
Right.
100 of these fake walls where
Yeah,
it's
soft
no
walls.
walls.
Soft walls.
Softball.
Not walls.
Non-wall. Okay.
Oh, so we are skipping Beauty and the Beast tonight.
Yes, because we've all seen it.
Yeah.
And
We're going to do 2 more trivias. And
Yeah.
Christy and I may or may not stay up until 10:15.
what happens at 10:15? Oh,
like
the
the-
lighting, the tree, or the
It's like
The
a good night
chandelier.
something or other. But usually there's a bunch of characters that we've already probably seen by now.
All right, we'll see. Oh, so we have to decide what we're going to do. So they're cleaning up this room. It's getting even louder with that, which is good. Bags are being opened and things are happening.
I almost find it's funny, and it's every cruise, but I feel like the cruise workers almost just don't even try to be quiet when they do their cleanup stuff. They're just being as loud as possible.
I mean, they're working.
They're
and
working.
It is loud. It is more
But it's almost like they're
disruptive.
purposely going the other direction with the noise. I always feel that.
Okay, so do we want to do impressions tomorrow, maybe on the way home?
Yeah,
I like it.
Of the
Yeah,
overall
Let's
cruise.
sleep on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. She's a gorgeous ship. I will say, I'm going to give a tidbit of an impression. I liked this ship so much more. There's like children burping somewhere. I liked this ship so much more than I thought I would.
Okay. That's a good cliffhanger.
It is. So we'll
Yeah.
have more tomorrow. More tomorrow.
More
Okay.
tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on the DCL Podcast. No, we're not done yet. So we're just done for the night. All right. Good night, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hello from the back seat.
We are driving home from our Disney Treasure Cruise. Oh, boo.
Boo. It was a fun little getaway.
It was a fun little getaway. I feel like Amber made us do more, and yet I still don't know that we did enough.
Yeah.
All right, so last night, when did we talk last? We had more trivia, and there's one host, Mallory. That's her name, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's super fun. All of her trivia are unhinged. They're just all over the place. So we had that. And then we lost.
Yeah. But we did pretty good. I mean, we were in the middle there.
Movie trivia.
Yep.
I got 2 answers. And then what else did we do? So Amber went to the Goodnight Kiss.
In about 10 miles, keep left.
Of course. The Goodnight Kiss, which is called something different.
Yeah, I don't know if they just didn't do it for real on this test cruise, but there was no announcements, no little fancy show. Just at 10:15, there was a voice said, "Welcome to the Grand Hall." Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Grand Hall. And then there were characters just along the side, and then you just went to meet them. But there was no like, hope you had fun, all the fluffy stuff that makes you cry in the last night. It was just random characters. So I'm curious to see what happens on a quote-unquote real cruise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was no very merry time on this one. And
Well,
stuff
no,
like that,
but there's still something.
Usually there's like at least a 3-minute talk about how great your vacation was.
So, right.
So I feel like we did something else yesterday. Did we not?
After our last snippet.
Yeah.
We did the movie quotes trivia, and then we went back to the room, packed.
I felt like there was a reason I thought we would come and do a snippet. But so far, I
Well,
guess Amber's quick good night. That wasn't a good night.
Yeah. And then we were going to do our final thoughts on the trip.
Oh, the final thoughts. That's what it was going to be. Okay. You know what? We didn't prepare for our final thoughts before we press play. But now we're just going to...
Let's wing these final
Off
thoughts.
the cuff.
We're going to jump into it. So, I thought Moana was worth, actually taking a cruise. And I am so curious if they're going to work to adapt that to Broadway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should.
Oh, absolutely.
And they could. It was so moving. When I did the sales meeting yesterday morning for the travel advisors, they talked about how it was really important for them to bring in Pacific.
The Polynesian peoples.
Yes. South Pacific, I believe.
Yeah.
Individuals to be the actors, and and they found so many of them. It was amazing. And I really do believe that they captured that story so beautifully. So one thing, when you go, we're not going to really give spoilers. I mean, you guys know what's on the Moana show, basically, at this point. So we're not going to give spoilers. But the one thing they said in the sales meeting that I thought was interesting is they just said, did you all see that the performers were the ocean? And I feel like we did. But just in case, that was a point that they, A, wanted to point out, and B, they were trying to portray in the adaptation, was that the performers dancing around were the ocean. And I just think that's super cool.
Yeah, very cool. Because it is a character in the movie, and so it's important to have that there. So, yeah, they did a great job with that.
Somebody on Instagram at Pack Your Pixie Does asked what some of the biggest differences or the best new feature or change from this ship versus Wish, and I stole Amber's instinct first answer, which was Moana. But Amber, what's your final answer? Because you changed it.
My final answer, hands down, was the Plaza de Coco.
Although I think your reasoning is weird.
Oh, no,
She likes tacos.
Well, that's true.
No, I just loved it. I honestly thought to myself, I would book this cruise just for this restaurant. Christy's booking a cruise just for one show. I'm booking a cruise just for this one restaurant.
You get to go there twice at least.
I know.
And actually, Blake said that his biggest difference was Coco as well, the performers at Coco. Which was shocking because he also was like, I don't like the movie, and I don't feel like I didn't notice that he was really paying attention.
Yeah.
And it wasn't tacos for him because he ate spaghetti for the entirety of the cruise.
Right.
Like every night, he ate spaghetti.
Well, it's even more impressive
Or
because
pasta.
we were off in the corner, so it wasn't even like we were really nearish enough to the stage to fully get the experience.
Right.
And he still loved it. So
Yeah, so our table's so far back. I don't know if I said this in the recording yesterday, but I would request our server, because he was amazing, Aura from Indonesia. But our table, there was one worse table than us, but that was almost it. Like in the Marvel restaurant. It was just we're so in the corner of every single restaurant that I don't want to request him because I don't want to be in the corner again.
well, on that table, it felt like they designed the restaurant, put all the tables in, and went,
Oops, we're missing one.
there's empty space here. Let's throw a table there.
We're missing a table. Okay, so then, Dave, what was your difference from The Wish that you liked?
I think that center two-story kind of all-purpose area that on The Wish is called Luna, and on here it is, depending on what time of day or what our mood is, it could be sangria, it could be sriracha, it could be, what is it really called?
Nobody knows.
Sabi or sabria.
I know, now I
Christy
had
said it yesterday one
said
time.
it. No, I've used it.
Sarabi.
So yeah, there you go.
Sarabi.
I'm like,
yeah.
I typed it in the Instagram this morning, and now I'm lost.
It's the same concept, so it's sort of an open air
Shared use
space, multi-story, but it's just the theming in it is very cool. It's very Lion King. It's got the big, mane that Christy found some hidden Mickeys in, and it's
That mane is absolutely stunning.
very stunning. And just the decoration on the upper story balcony, like fringe, is just really, really cool. So I just felt like it was better themed and better kind of a cooler space than what Luna really offered.
Yeah, Oh, and then they had. Did we talk about this? The like hieroglyphic. I can't.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
Hieroglyphics.
yeah.
There you go.
Of the animals etched into
The face of the balcony. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the face of the balcony. It was the perimeter of the room, basically,
Right.
on the balcony. Those are. There's just so much to look at in there. It's gorgeous. I still don't understand the open air concept.
Yeah.
I don't understand the 2 floors that you really can't get from one floor to the other.
That is weird.
And then while we're talking about things I don't understand why all the doors on the ship are so heavy. Like, and they're not automatic. So honestly, if you had a person that was in a wheelchair, how would that even work? And almost always doors to everything were closed.
Well, and there's some weird choices there too. So, like, for example, going in toward Marceline Market from the deck, if you're going in from the deck, they have those little hand panels that you put your hand in front of and it opens the door automatically. But again, there was actually literally a moment where there was somebody in a scooter in front of us and another person behind the scooter had to go around and do the hand thing for him because it was off to the side, so he couldn't reach it. But when you're coming out from Marceline Market, they auto open. So it's very odd choices there.
Yeah. But, so I guess that's just something to look out for if you are in a wheelchair or a scooter. Okay. So, Dave came up with a good topic to discuss the differences in the space between this ship and the Wish. So obviously there's the 3 restaurants. That's given.
Yep.
And then we've already talked about Sarabi / every other name that we've made up. And then Keg and Compass was on the Wish, and that's like the sports pub if there was one. And that one is Periscope Lounge?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Which has a giant periscope right when you walk in.
And that place was always jammed. And I think part of the reason it was always jammed was because there was a lot of contract workers on board still doing contract worker things and like work on the ship, and they would go there in the evening. And then when they weren't in there were events and parties and just like new ship things going on. So I think that was all going on as well. So
Are you voting on if it's an upgrade, the same, or a downgrade?
oh sure, oh that's a good game. Okay, so
I don't know that I've ever set foot in Keg and Compass, so I don't know that I could actually...
then it would be
vote
an
on that
upgrade,
one.
right? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't important enough to set foot in.
Yeah.
The theming, I feel like it's dark though. I
Dark.
think like the theming is they definitely like attach themselves to a theme.
Yeah. You're supposed to be in a submarine, I suppose, and they seem to have nailed that. I mean, that's why it's dark, maybe.
Although I did go there at like noon for a trivia, and it wasn't that dark.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
So, and it was also empty.
Oh yeah, you did say that actually.
So it might have been just a bad time that we all decided to go check it out. I'm going to go with very slight upgrade because it's cool, but the Wish is also pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So, and let's just Sarabi really quick. Well, upgrade. I think it's an upgrade.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I never went to Luna.
Ever?
I don't think so.
No.
I think the only reason that we went in there once or twice was because that was often on the first day where they do all the dining reservation updates.
They did that in the beginning. Now it's Triton's.
Okay.
But, and then I went there for a sales, like, travel agent meeting
Yeah.
during our preview cruise. And they moved that to the Walt Disney Theater, which was a much better place
Yeah.
for it. Because people could see and there was more space and all the things.
Well, and for those who don't know, I mean, that's like their version of the D Lounge, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's at 2 floors
yeah.
and it's open air, which is still weird to me.
Yeah.
Especially, like, some of the evening entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Walt Disney Theater, I feel, is the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, no changes there.
We didn't go in the movie theaters on this trip, but
Amber
there's
did.
the two, and I think they're...
I went to Wonderland, and it seemed to be the same.
Yeah.
This theming was the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other spaces?
Nightingales is now
Oh.
the Scat Cat Lounge.
God, I hate to, like, take away from my gorgeous Disney Disney Wish, but it's the Disney Treasure wins that one.
Yeah. It's got that outside section now that you can get
Yes.
to from the Grand Hall.
Like, and y'all remember when we were looking at the concept art for the Grand Hall / atrium? Dave. As Dave tries to crash into the car in front of us. I said, I believe that there are chairs out there to grab a quick drink, and I think that was a super smart move.
Yeah.
So now there's maybe like 6 chairs, just like there are on all the original 4 ships, where you can like be in the lobby, Grand Hall, atrium, and grab a cocktail, grab a drink, or whatever you want your beverage to be.
Well, and you and I should definitely mark that to go check out being in the lounge.
Yes, for sure,
Because
during music.
I gotta feel like they've got to play some jazzy type music, which you love.
Yep.
So.
And Amber and I did a walkthrough, and we heard music being played, which I've recorded, so I'll have to upload that at some point. It was really good.
Yeah.
I just think it's better, so I think upgrade. Amber?
Upgrade.
Upgrade, yeah.
I mean, I do really like the chandelier on the Wish, but no, I think this space is an upgrade.
Yep. And then the Bayou
Oh yeah.
is now Skipper, what's it called? Skipper Scuttle something?
Society, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Skipper Society.
God.
Harry, Skipper Canteen, Jungle Cruise.
I'm gonna go. What's the middle one where it's neither an upgrade or a downgrade?
Right.
Because
Yeah,
Tiana's is so cool, but this was also like super cool. They're both super cool, and I love it both.
I feel like they had the volume, at least from the live music that we heard, a little bit more, like they figured it out more so that you could be in that space and
not be
listen to
deaf.
the music and not be deaf.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I agree. I think that I love both spaces. I mean, yeah. I would take them both.
Yeah.
Put one space at each of the ships, or like, in two different locations, and I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Haunted Mansion versus Hyperspace Lounge. Hyperspace wins the door.
Yes.
That goes like the opening door situation. Yeah, you get a sound effect.
I still don't know why they didn't have like the ghost host open the door for you. You know, it's like they could have definitely done an auto opening door.
I bet it breaks.
Probably.
Oh, speaking of doors that are hard to open, that door is so hard to open.
It is impossible. You think it's locked.
I thought it was locked, or I thought there was a private party going on.
Maybe that is implying that it is an auto opening door that's broken. So
maybe. No, it didn't feel like though it was ever gonna open on its own. That's the problem. Hey, we're just driving by this Tiana's Bayou Adventure sign right now, and why aren't they using Adventure Tiana, like Tiana's adventure outfit on the cruise at all? Tiana in her gorgeous dress was on several times, but maybe Disney, you need to listen to this podcast and you need to add adventure outfit Tiana, because that would fit the theming, which was adventure on the ship.
Yep.
Which it's funny that the Disney Treasures overall theme is adventure, but the Disney Adventure overall theme is like Disney IP or something. I don't even know what to say, but okay.
So I think
back to Haunted Mansion.
I feel like they both nailed their assignment. They both understood the homework. I personally have a preference for Star Wars, so I prefer Hyperspace Lounge. But I don't know, what do you guys, and you kind of, Christy, I mean, you're not a Haunted Mansion fan necessarily, but not a big Star Wars fan.
I feel like it was cozier in the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
If you could get a seat and be in there. And Amber went in during the day, right? Where it wasn't, or a time where it wasn't quite.
I left dinner super early and went in there, and there was nobody. So there's plenty of seats.
And it wasn't super loud.
I guess, maybe Dave, refresh my memory. Haunted Mansion Bar was like things from the ride, like things I recognize. Like the Donald chair was in there. I recognized the things. Whereas Hyperspace Lounge was just like Disney made up Star Warsy things that you don't recognize. So that's why I'm going to give my thumbs up to Haunted Mansion, because it's actually things I recognize.
Yeah.
And I'm just going based upon, I don't like how echoey it is in the Star Wars and Hyperspace Lounge. So, and I think that the seating appears to be more, we weren't able to sit in them, but appears to be more comfortable in Haunted Mansion. So I'm giving my slight thumbs up to Haunted Mansion as well.
Yeah. I would give it to Hyperspace just because Star Wars.
And the thing with these preview cruises is they let us on, but their goal also is to grab content and to allow media to grab content and to make their commercials and do their things. So we don't always have full access to places. And then when we do, there were long lines. Oh, somebody did ask about how they're dealing with like sort of the queue, and they haven't dealt with it. So I don't know. We'll have to get reports from the Maiden Voyage and beyond if they're going to allow you to reserve a time or like queue up at a different location. The first night they just had 1,000 people standing in line. Then the second night when we went, they just allowed everybody in there, and it was chaotic. So I don't know what the real way they're going to handle it is.
And they still had the sign that said limited your time there to 45 minutes,
right?
But who knows how many people actually stuck to that?
Right.
Well, in Hyperspace, it almost stopped being a problem because I think it wasn't as popular as people thought it might be at one point.
Because it's echoey and not comfortable. Wait, Dave, this lane ends. And again, sorry, live podcast as Dave tries to crash again.
This is life.
Okay. Dave crashing his life. So, what other spaces? Anything? Is there anything else?
Well, there's Triton's the same.
Triton's the same. Pool deck looks exactly the same. We have the restaurants. So, new Marvel restaurant, I don't notice that it's any different.
Yeah,
well, I'm going to call it the same Marvel restaurant.
Yeah.
With a new show, because it's a longer cruise.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't notice necessarily any differences. The Coco. Okay, so I think we talked about this on the preview show or whenever we did the last show. I think so. For sure, they got rid of the serving stations, and they changed basically the footprint of the restaurant from the inside. And they put the serving stations behind the walls. They maybe made the pillars smaller in most places. There's one giant tree that if you got stuck behind, which there are tables behind the giant tree, so that's going to interfere with your sight line for sure. But I think there's a lot less interferences with your sight line. It really is like a giant, like, families coming to dinner and everybody's in long rows of tables. Now they have the tables divided up to tables of 4, 6, and 8, but it is long, like, you know, and then you have a couple. There's more ways to get around the restaurant for sure.
Yeah.
And so that place changed.
I am curious because I was wondering too, because it felt like there was more space. But I'm curious if that was because, again, they're, like you said, they made these changes, or is it because
There were less
so it was like half the people there normally are. So I guess we'll have to just see in January if it still feels as spacious. But it definitely felt more spacious than Arendelle.
Yeah.
1923 was basically the same, although I think, Amber, you mentioned that you felt like the artwork in there was more from the more modern era. Like, there were some things like Robin Hood stuff in there from when I was a kid, but there was more modern art.
Also, which one were we in?
We were
the
in
Walt Disney?
We were in Walt,
I wonder
Walt
if that's
side.
a change. I don't know. I don't really remember the Wish 1923 very well.
What?
I mean, I remember there was just art everywhere, but not specifics.
Yeah, like Jiminy Cricket was in there.
Okay.
Tangled was in the Wish. But maybe it's also related to adventure. I think it probably is. Adventure versus enchantment.
That could be.
Okay, I like it.
So one question, I can save this for after for wrapping up the spaces, but I had one final question that kind of popped in my head.
Okay.
Do you think that, because the overwhelming response that I've heard anecdotally has been that more people are positive about the treasure than they were about the Wish. Do you think that part of that is because the Wish was the new thing that was like, it's almost like the Band-Aid has been ripped off now, and so all of the things that were critiques of the Wish are still here. Like, you can't... So do we think that it's like the Band-Aid's been ripped off now? Because, again, the critiques are the same for where there are critiques of the structure of the ship. So do you think that maybe that's why part of why it's so positive, other than some of the theming changes and all that, do you think some of it is also that people now are used to this new ship design and are now looking at it more from a fresh perspective?
Yes.
Like 100%.
Exactly. I think everybody who's listening is also screaming at your 3-minute question to also say yes, that it was. Yeah, so you've had a chance to sit with with the new design ship, and even for me, I think, it's not even that it's because adventure versus enchantment, right? Adventure would never be my theme. But even for me, I like... Okay, if I'm comparing Grand Halls, I still like the Wish better.
Yeah.
It's for Christy. It's a Christy Grand Hall. But I don't want to say it, but I kind of like the Treasure better in, like, overall attachment to the theme and the way how they made it come to life.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. They're using the Grand Hall space more on the Treasure than they did on the Wish, in my opinion. Like, all
true.
those shows in there. And even the show for even the Indiana Jones Choose Your Adventure, that is like a show that they made for Luna. And I don't think that there's anything equivalent on the Wish.
No, I don't think so either. I can't remember what they would put in Luna. I mean, other than trivia shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it definitely feels like they're making space better there.
Amber?
No, I totally agree. I think everybody I know, when we first went on the Wish, we were like, that was okay. And now the Wish is my favorite. And like, you know, it just took a while to get used to. And now I think the Treasure is my new favorite.
Ooh.
So I think Dave is onto something.
Yeah.
Just
For
having
sure.
to kind of break the mold first, and then you can say, okay, now we can actually look and see if we like it or not. I think too, like with the Hyperspace Lounge, like they were trying to shoehorn some things in there, almost like trying to force IP where it wasn't needed, whereas this felt more organic, like it all fit together.
Yeah. This is, I think, day 3 snippet is its own, or day 4 drive home snippet is its own extra show.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we just covered
we did it for the entire hour drive home from
We
the
are
porch.
home now.
Yeah. And we're home. Okay, so wrap up. I thought it was a great cruise. I thank you, Disney, for inviting me through my agency. And
Thank you, Christy, for taking the 3 of us along on your adventure.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
for
Christy.
for sure. Thank you, Amber, for coming too and making us do more.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very tired, so.
Right. Amber did a good job. Staying up late, getting up early. I missed her texting me this morning that said, "Are you awake?" Okay, that's it. Thank you for coming along on our adventure on the Disney Treasure.
I get
There you
it.
go.
See what I did there? Okay. Bye, guys. Hey, really quick. This is, as Lake calls it, Future Christy recording. In our cruise group for this preview cruise that we were just on, somebody had posted that they are having technical issues on board with electronics and things like that, which of course they are, but that the goodnight kiss may not have happened because of those technical issues. So that could be the reason it didn't occur. Also, did you see that the Treasure had a bit of a rain situation where it was raining in the Treasure? That's like making its way around TikTok. See you real soon on Instagram. Posted video of it today too. Okay, bye. Well, that'll do it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed these snippets. If you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, we'd ask you to do that. It really helps us to get the show found by more people. If you need help with how to do that, please reach out to Christy and I can walk you through it. I'd like to thank our Patreons who help bring us this show each and every week. If you are interested in our Patreon program, you can find us at patreon.com/DCL Podcast. On behalf of our guest host and myself, Christy, we wish you smooth sailing and safe travels, and we'll see you next time.
The DCL Podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.